and welcome to the NFL preview edition of the Sports by Schmucks podcast. We're here with Sean again. Sean, what episode is this? It's like 7 or something.
This is 7. After our big finding out which one we had last time, this is 7.
All right, this is 7. So there you go, 7 points. Touchdown. It works.
That was smooth.
What? I thought so. I thought it worked out. Not my best, but it serves. So we're recording this on September the 4th with the season opener, Ravens at Denver, going tomorrow night, which would be the 5th. So why don't we just start right there, because we're going back to last year's playoffs. Just off the top of your head, who do you got in that game?
Off the top of my head, Denver.
Yeah, me too.
It's nothing against the Ravens, but they're winning the Super Bowl the playoff game last year was a complete fluke.
Yeah.
Raheem Moore wasn't a moron and decided to, for some reason, try to pick it off instead of just tackling him on the last play of the game.
He wanted to be the hero.
Yeah, and he went to be the GOAT.
Yeah.
But I have Denver winning that tomorrow night, and I cannot wait to watch actual NFL football again.
Yeah, I've got Denver winning that game as well. And that's going to be the story. One of the stories of the season, I think, is the Ravens and how they're going to turn out, in my opinion. But before we started, you had a couple storylines, one of which was Adrian Peterson going for the rushing record.
Yeah, in the offseason, he kept saying how he got really close last year. How he kept saying he wanted to beat Eric Dickerson's record and possibly smash it.
Yeah, he said he wanted 2,500 yards.
I don't know about 2,500.
That's what he said. I'm just saying what he said he wanted.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I don't see 2,500 in the future. I see 22. I think he's going to break it this year.
Yeah, really, this year.
I think so. They finally have the weapons on the outside where they can't stack the box against Adrian Peterson. Cordell Patterson and Craig Jennings,
yes,
are going to be stretching out the field, and they can't stack the box. They can't put 9 people in. Because eventually someone's going to be able to – Ponder's got to be able to pass. You got to think at some point.
That's what I was going to say. It's still Christian Ponder as quarterback, so.
But when you have 2 big options like that, a monkey could throw something to them and
Christian Ponder.
I still think
Christian Ponder. That's how I feel about the subject.
Well played. I still think he breaks it. What do you think?
I don't think he's going to break it this year.
Do you think he breaks 2,000?
I think he's going to be just short, actually. I don't know. I don't trust the Vikings at all this year.
Either do I. I think last year was a fluke.
There's just something about them that offensively they showed, Peterson pretty much carried them all the way, and I don't think he's going to be able to do that again this year. I think
the defense did get a lot better though.
They did, but I think teams will be Patterson's a rookie.
Yeah.
And Greg Jennings is his first year in this system now, and even though he'll probably have a big game against the Packers, one of the 2 games, maybe at Lambeau, I'm leaning towards that one just as an FU game type of thing.
Yeah.
But I don't trust the Vikings to do very well, especially in that division. The Packers are good, Bears are good, and the Lions are better than they should. They're not as bad as they were last year.
Yeah, I think every team. I was just having a discussion with someone. I can't think of 3 teams that are going to be really terrible, other than maybe the Jets and the Raiders. Every other team kind of has a shot for a wild card. Maybe a team like the Chargers, not so much. But I can't think of a team that's going to be like a 2 14 win team. I just can't.
Excuse me, I coughed.
Sorry, what was that?
Jacksonville.
Oh yeah, there's the 3rd team.
Yeah.
But other than those 3, every other team kind of has a shot.
I don't know. I think the Panthers could, and it's not because they're a bad team, but you're gonna have 6 games against New Orleans, Atlanta, and Tampa Bay.
Agreed, but I think
I know it's divisional stuff, but I think those 3 teams got so much better.
Yeah, every division in the NFC is a murderer's row. You can't go against any team and say it's gonna be a cakewalk.
Yeah. Okay, another thing with how the Patriots like to throw their tight ends. Hernandez is could be doing 25 to life, and Gronkowski, he's suited up, so we're not too sure if he's going to be playing or not yet. Hopefully he doesn't, on a personal note. But what do you think Brady is able to do with his new weapons?
Well, just to let you know, as of the 4th today, that's Wednesday, Gronk is a game time decision for week 1.
Oh God, no.
I don't think he'll be in. From the looks of it, he's just doing some like running around and
Okay,
getting
good.
back into game shape. I don't think he'll be in week 1.
Well, we need all the help we can get. So, well, sorry, the Bills need all the help
Yeah,
they
there you
can
go.
get. So,
So full discretion, Brett is a Buffalo Bills fan and I am a Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan.
yes,
Just so
full
everyone knows.
discretion.
Um,
Don't worry, it won't affect my picks in the AFC East.
it affects mine. You might like it, although I'll probably be wrong. But yeah, Tom Brady lost a lot of weapons this offseason. He
Yeah,
pretty much lost his top 4 receivers from last season.
but it's not like he got. If Amendola stays healthy, I think he's going to be like already showed some chemistry in the preseason. I think he's going to be a very good fit for New England.
I hate how people compare him to Walker. They're two
I,
different receivers.
you notice I didn't compare him to Welker. I just said they had chemistry.
No, I know in general, how people just because they're white, they're two completely different wide
Well, they're
receivers.
white and they're small and they're very good route runners.
Uh, Danny Amendola isn't too small. He's 6 foot.
He's small.
He's not like
He's not big.
Calvin Johnson tall,
Yeah.
but he's not small. Losing Brandon Lloyd, I know they didn't have a massive chemistry thing, but that's still big playability. Gronk being injured with the forearm and then the back, that's two issues that might linger throughout the season, considering how long it's been in the offseason and he's still having an issue. And losing Aaron Hernandez, who is my boy. I love Aaron Hernandez.
Yeah, that was your Madden guy.
That was my Madden guy. That was my fantasy football guy. Losing him is devastating. I thought Hernandez is probably top 2, top 3 tight ends in the entire league. Even better than Gronk, in my opinion, because he's so versatile. He's a good blocker. He can get out there on the flats. He can like catch the deep ball. Great. Danny Amendola, as long as he can stay healthy, would be an awesome weapon for Tom Brady. It's the 2 wide receivers they brought in through the draft. I don't know how they're going to perform. Aaron Dawson looked all right at best in the preseason. I know he's supposed to be the new Randy Moss type for him, but he didn't show that big playability in the preseason. But once again, it is preseason. I don't take too much stock in anything, considering every play they use is a vanilla look. Defenses aren't even trying half the time.
Yes, it's safe to assume that they're going to have to rely a lot more on the run game this year.
Yeah, Shane Vereen is Ridley's going to have a big season again. I think Shane Vereen's going to be the guy that picks up most of the slack in this offense. I think he's going to be kind of useless. CJ Spiller was earlier in his career, where he was a wide receiver / like running back. Just get him onto the field, get some big plays out of him as much as you can, and just hope that when he spells Stephen Ridley, that he's just going to bust out and have a big 50-yard run.
Yeah. So we got about 3 minutes before we get into our prediction. So you got time for one more story. Make it count.
Well, I don't really care about Chip Kelly, so let's talk about RG3 and his knee.
Yes, let's talk about that for the sake of my probable Sacco Champs fantasy team.
Yeah. Well, I'll ask you first. What do you think? Do you think he's going to hold for the entire year, or what should they do to try to protect him? Should they limit him from running this year?
I would limit his runs. Well, it's hard to do that because some of his instincts is to scramble out of the pocket. But I would limit the designed runs, like the read options. I'd limit a lot of those plays. Not as much, maybe only special circumstances, like maybe around the goal line where his quickness can get to the outside really quick, and just cut to the edge and get to the pylon really quickly. But you know what? If he's good to go, he's good to go. He's gonna run one way or another. So I think that he will have a good year overall. Not as high, rushing numbers not going to be as high, but I think that's going to really help him in his development as a quarterback, forcing him to stay in the pocket and make good decisions and throw the ball. Make good decisions to a certain receiver or throw the ball away.
Yeah. I also think he's not going to have as good a year passing because he won't have the running option as much.
That's true. That's a good point.
So he's probably going to throw some more picks because throwing he had 3 or 6, I can't remember.
It was a small number.
It was some ridiculously low number that no quarterback should throw for. If he's going to be passing more, he's going to be not closer to Andrew Luck's numbers of what he had because he had 18 interceptions last year.
Yeah.
I think he still throws in the 10 to 15 area, probably 25 touchdowns. He probably still has a bunch of rushing touchdowns. Personally, I believe let him run, let him go crazy. because if he does get hurt, I think they have the best backup in the league in Kirk
Oh,
Cousins.
for sure. He showed himself. He proved himself uh, time and time again. Well, time and time again, I should say loosely, because he only was in a couple of
Preseason,
times.
yeah.
But
But
he looked really good when he came in for relief for a couple of times. He won them a game
yeah,
for sure in the regular season. I forget who was against. I think it was the Ravens. No,
I can't remember off the top of my head.
I remember RG3 went down and Cousins came in and had to score 2 touchdowns.
It might have been them or the Giants. I can't remember.
Anyways,
Anyways, I still believe like run him if he gets hurt. You can rely on Kirk Cousins for the entire year.
yeah.
Him and Ryan Mallett are the two quarterbacks that if my quarterbacks went down, I would just trade for them in a second or anything. Those two guys are they should be starting quarterbacks in this league. Starting Terrell Pryor starting with the Raiders.
Hey, it's not. Hey, did he get now named starter?
He did get named starter for week
Ooh.
one. For week one at least.
Remember when Matt Flynn signed that huge contract?
Yeah,
It,
it's amazing what 6 touchdowns in a game can do for your bank account.
yeah, good times for him. Okay,
Yeah.
so those were some quick things that we were like main storylines that we were gonna touch on this season. We're not even gonna bother worrying about Tebow since he doesn't even play in the league anymore.
Well, maybe the CFL.
Really, who knows? Apparently, all the reports, the quarterback guru he was working with said he should go to the Montreal. And you know what Calvillo done? For he's on the nine game injured reserve. So I don't know. Anyways, enough about the CFL. This is the NFL podcast, Sean. So we were talking about RG3 and the NFC East. So for predictions, let's start with the NFC East. I'll lead it off to you and what you're gonna do with it.
Well, if you've been reading my previews, which you should be, if you go to our website, Sports by
I'll
Schmucks.
put the link to the blog will be in the description of the video, so they should go and check it out for sure.
Why, thank you, sir. For the NFC East, I picked Washington to win that division. The other teams in that division are kind of, I don't want to say average, but there's nothing that stands out to me about them. Philly is revamped their entire defense, going to the 3-4. I like Vic and Chip Kelly's offense, but you don't know what you're getting until you see Chip Kelly actually running the offense and not preseason. So I don't want to say anything too crazy about them. Cowboys, once again, switching from 3-4 to 4-3, and Tony Romo's still the quarterback. And with the Giants, you never know what you're going to get with them. They might be terrible this year, or they might go to the Super Bowl. I just don't trust them. What do you think?
I've got the Giants winning the division because
Never mind then.
I think Eli is not gonna have he's not gonna have his he had about 4,000 just under 4,000 yards last year, maxed out at 4,900 2 years ago. I think he's gonna get somewhere in between there. He's gonna get enough from the defense to win them games, and they've got a bit of an easier schedule against the Redskins than the Redskins, since the Redskins have to play the 49ers and the other champion in the NFC that wasn't the division they're playing, which was the Packers, I believe. No, the Falcons, I believe. And they're at Atlanta. So I think those are just going to be 2 losses for the Redskins, which puts a damper on their chances to repeat. Eagles, same thing. Chip Kelly, they're rebuilding. Don't look at them this year. Next year, maybe.
Yeah, I agree.
And then Dallas, I think the weight of the contract is going to hold Tony Romo down. He's going to try too hard. He's going to have to throw in some bad picks like he usually does. Just
so the usual.
not always at the at the end of the game though. He's going to try to do too much early.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't think DeMarco Murray stays healthy.
Shocker.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Who do you have in the North?
In the North, I've got the Packers winning it, Bears in second, Lions in third, Vikings in fourth.
I also have Green Bay winning it. I think the Lions will be ahead of the Bears. And the Vikings, I don't want to say they're rebuilding, because they're not. They're retooling. They're getting younger.
Yeah.
Give them another year. They have a lot of first-round picks this year with their 3 picks.
Yep.
I think they'll be challenging next year. I think they might need to go for a top quarterback in this year's draft. If Ponder doesn't work out, which you don't think it will happen.
No, I don't think it will.
But yeah, that's my pick in the North.
And then I like the Bears over the Lions this year. Cutler's in his contract year, and they've kind of provided him a line that'll help him keep upright. So that should help him a lot. I know Detroit has the high-powered offense, and they're building a solid front 4 at least. but I don't know.
I,
I like Chicago, and I like Trestman as the coach.
another CFL reference right there.
Yeah, but at least I know something about Trestman and his
That's
success in
true.
the CFL and the way he transformed. I know it's CFL, but the way he transformed Anthony Calvillo after he sucked all the time in Hamilton. Um,
Yeah, from a journeyman to an actual quarterback.
to the all-time total
They,
professional football passing record, which is bull. Anyway, so we're gonna go from the north. We're gonna go to the south. Go to the dirty.
well, we all know my team's in this division, but I'm
Yeah,
not picking them to win the division,
good.
sadly. Um,
Neither am I.
oh well, that's depressing. I'm actually picking New Orleans.
So am I, actually.
It, it's not the Sean Payton reason. Um, I just don't trust Atlanta. I've always thought they're overrated. I don't know how to keep winning. Everything about that team just screams meh. I get Julio Jones, I get
Yeah,
Tony Gonzalez, I get their wide receivers. I don't think Steven Jackson will have the massive year everyone thinks he's gonna having.
neither do I.
Their defense is completely overrated. Usi Yamimura is not going to do anything that John Abraham was going to do. He's going to do worse. And nothing else on that defense, other than maybe Sean Witherspoon and maybe Curtis Lofton, is good.
Yeah.
Carolina had a bad year because they couldn't run the ball at all.
And
So,
when you have Newton, D'Angelo Williams, and Jonathan Stewart, you should be able to run the ball.
and oh shoot, Mike Goodson, not Goodson, the
The running
fullback.
back, Tolbert.
Yes, thank you, Mike Tolbert. Like if you have those guys, you should be able to like just run the ball and get like yards.
Yeah,
But I think they'll be a lot better this year running the ball. And Tampa, it's gonna sound homerish. The addition of Revis and Golson is gonna completely revamp the secondary.
well, I agree with you on that. They're two good additions, providing Revis can
Stay
perform
healthy.
after his
Yeah.
injury, can stand up. Yeah, exactly.
Well, if RG3 can make it back and Adrian Peterson, Revis is now one of the elite athletes. He should be fine.
That's true.
But there's two big questions with Tampa though. The defensive line. Losing Michael Bennett to Seattle was a massive loss. He provided double-digit sacks, the only person on the team that did. But we are getting Adrian Claiborne back this year, healthy, and Daquan Bowers. They need Daquan Bowers to show something. If he doesn't, he'll be a permanent bench player, and we'll need to draft another high defenseman. Also, Josh Freeman in a contract year.
Yep.
He's still young. He's still 25. He's still younger than Kaepernick. So he's been in the league a while. So you can still send him a long-term contract. He's still gonna grow, but he's gotta limit the turnovers.
Yeah. I like the Saints waiting, partly because of the Payton reason, but partly because they have Vilma for the entire year, which is going to help them at the beginning of the season, which they didn't
Not
have
so
last.
much. He's on the IR.
He's on the IR again? Damn it.
He's on the IR with the chance to return list.
Oh, I missed that. Anyways, I still think they're going to be good.
But
Especially
don't forget,
because,
they're switching over to the 3-4 Brett.
yeah, Breeze didn't look that good last year. I know he still put up numbers, but he didn't look. He threw a lot of picks.
He was trying to control. He pretty much became the coach when Sean Payton went.
Exactly, and I think with that off of him, he's going to be back and ready to go. I think Peyton's going to be fired up and motivated to bring this team back to the division championship. Falcons, I don't trust Tony Gonzalez. As much as he's a Hall of Fame talent, the carpet's got to be pulled up from underneath him sooner or later. That's just my opinion. I have no basis on that whatsoever because he has been a consistent pro, but it has to come to an end soon.
No, I don't disagree with you. I think he'll be fine this year.
And then I have the Bucks 3 and the Panthers 4. And I think that's going to be the second toughest division in football.
Oh yeah, right after the NFC
Right
West.
after the NFC West, which we're going to go to right now. I was trying to segue it, but you cut me off.
I'm sorry, I apologize.
That's right. So I've got the Niners 1 in the division, Hawks 2, Seahawks 2, Rams 3, Cardinals 4. The 49ers, it was a toss-up between the two teams because they're both going to be very, very good, the Niners and the Seahawks. And I ended up siding with the 49ers just because, you know what, I don't even know why I did, to be perfectly honest.
It's honestly just a toss-up.
Yeah, and I thought with
I was the exact same way.
yeah,
I have my notes here. I kept flipping back and forth between Seattle and San Fran.
yeah,
Either one of them's going to be the wild card. They're both going to the playoffs.
yeah,
They're going to be 1 and 2. That doesn't matter. The big thing about this division is going to be St. Louis and Arizona. I think they're going to be a hell of a lot better
I
than what they
do.
were last year. St. Louis is going to push for a wild card.
Yep.
Arizona is going to be a fringe wild card team, and they're going to push. They're going to push whatever teams are going for that spot.
Yep.
They're going to be a spoiler if they have a late season game against one of the people going for the wild card.
Yes. So we got our division winners. I had the Giants, Niners, Saints, and Packers. You had the Niners, Saints, Packers, and Redskins.
Yep.
So on that note, I guess we can both agree that because of who we picked in the West, the
Wild
Seahawks,
card. Yeah.
Seahawks and Falcons.
For the wild card,
Yes, those are my two wild card teams.
Tampa Bay and Seattle.
Okay, you're going to Seattle over. Okay, that's cool.
I'm going Tampa Bay and Seattle for the wild card. So.
Yep. Okay, so we'll jump into the AFC really quickly. We'll start with the AFC East just because of the Bills.
We know who is going to be number one there.
Pats are number one, Dolphins 2, Bills 3, Jets 7th.
Jets are in the CFL this year.
Yeah, they get demoted and Alabama's taking their spot.
That's a good question. Who would do better on that debate? I have New England as well. I don't want to go into the entire division because it kind of ruins my wild card choice. But New England is my top dog. I don't think Miami will be as good as they were, or as what people are predicting. They lost a bunch of people, but they bought a bunch of people.
Are you seriously predicting the Bills for the wild card?
Possibly.
I should slap you in the face for that.
You shut your mouth, sir. Who do you have in the North?
I've got Bengals 1, Steelers 2, Ravens 3, Browns 4. And the Browns are going to be. I actually thought about putting the Browns at 3.
I have the Browns a lot better than that. I have Browns at 2.
Oh wow, okay. So
I think this is the year they finally take that step up.
So are you Bengals, Browns, Steelers, Ravens?
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, I had to think about that for a second.
Yeah.
And the South?
The South? Okay. Well, I guess we won't. Okay. Yeah, South, I've got Texans 1, Colts 2, Titans 3, Jags 7th.
Once again, they're being relegated.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the exact same way. I don't see Indianapolis overtaking Houston this year. The defense isn't good enough. The offense definitely is. Defense isn't good enough.
No, and then in the West, I know we didn't go into this conference as much as we did with the last one, but hey.
We don't need to.
We don't need to. This one is a lot more.
It's Denver.
Yeah, it's Denver. I've got Denver.
Kansas City.
I got San Diego.
Ooh.
I don't trust Kansas City. I know they're getting all this Pro Bowl talent back, and they've got a weak schedule, but I can't get behind Kansas City. Especially I love Alex Smith, but he doesn't adjust well to new offensive coordinators and new coaches very well early. That is true. So I think maybe next year is the year for Kansas City. This year, not so much.
I have Denver.
And then the Raiders are like 20th.
I have Denver, Kansas City, and then the rest.
Yeah. I think the Chargers they both have favorable schedules, but
I don't trust the Chargers.
See, I
can see what is it's unreliable at the best.
One of the reasons I'm going with the Chargers because Norv Turner is not in town anymore.
They still have no offensive line and no weapons.
Norv Turner's out. They'll find a way.
And okay. Ryan Matthews can't carry the ball worth.
So wild card teams, I've got the Steelers and I got the Dolphins.
I'm going with none of those teams.
I need to say the Dolphins.
Well, I'm going Kansas City and I'm going Buffalo.
Okay.
I'm going wild and teams that.
Can we please talk about why the hell you picked Buffalo as a wild card?
I think EJ Manuel might go for Rookie of the Year.
Okay.
If
that's fair.
If I have someone else winning it, but he would win it if it's just AFC. I think EJ Manuel's gonna be really, really good. After looking up all his game tape and stuff and seeing him in the preseason, the short times he's been there.
Yeah.
He kind of reminds me of Ben Roethlisberger. He's a big guy. He's got poise. He can kind of move in the pocket. He's got a strong arm. He's not going to wow you with 8,000 yards a season with 40 touchdowns. He's going to be consistent. As long as he doesn't turn the ball over, the Buffalo Bills have got a lot of options now. They got 2 wide receivers with Robert Woods. Scott Chandler's a not bad tight end. Your offensive line's okay. You got defense. I love your secondary.
Stop trying to talk me into this. The Bills are not going to be good this year.
You're such a hater.
They're going to break my heart again.
You're not going to get Clowney.
I know I'm not going to get Clowney, but they're going to break. See, this is how I see it happening this year. Spiller's going to get hurt.
You're hating on your team so badly. All right. Who
Spiller's
do you
going
have?
to get hurt. The offensive line's not going to be as good. Robert Woods is going to have a good first maybe 6 games and then hit a wall and leave Stevie Johnson all alone again with no help. Fred Jackson's going to show his age after coming back from the leg injury. And the defense, which still sucks against the run for whatever reason, still is going to suck against the run.
Man, that's so much hate for your team.
I know this team. I know what they do. I've watched them week in, week out for like as long as I can remember. And last year I got really excited, and they let me down.
So I'm guessing we're not going to Buffalo for a game this year.
Oh, I'll still go. I'll still go.
All right. So now that we've gotten over this Buffalo conversation, who
Yep.
do you have as your conference winners and the teams that will be representing their conference in the Super Bowl?
Okay. Well, I actually seeded my playoff thing. So this is how it's going to play out in my opinion. Pats are going to beat the Finns in the first round of the playoffs. Steelers are going to beat the Bengals
For the wild card games?
for the wild card, yeah, in the wild card rounds. So
Mhm.
that means the 3 and 5 advance. So the Broncos are going to beat the Steelers, and the Texans are finally going to beat the Patriots. Broncos beat Texans as the AFC champions.
I agree with you. I have them as my winner as well.
Then for the NFC, I have the Saints losing to the Seahawks again
Mm-hmm.
in the playoffs. Then I've as the 3-6 matchup. I've got the Falcons beating the Giants. Then I have the the Hawks beating the Niners, and then the Packers. I'm gonna say the Packers will beat the Falcons because they'll be in Lambeau, and then the Hawks go to Lambeau and knock off the Pack to make a Broncos Seahawks Super Bowl.
That's scary. That's my prediction as well.
Like exactly like how it plays out.
Yes. Oh, well, not well. I have different teams, but
Yeah.
I have Seattle and Denver being there at the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
Who's your winner? Who you got?
I got the Broncos mainly because I know Seattle has a tremendous defense, but they're not going to have the home field advantage because they're going to be at a neutral site, so the 12th man is gone, even though they just won in Lambeau. But there's just too many weapons on Denver. And with the genius that is Peyton Manning passing the ball around and spreading the ball evenly amongst all of his various targets, it's going to be extremely fun to watch. And I know defense normally beats offense, but I think this time it's the other way around.
I think Skittles better invest in the Super Bowl because they're going to be making it rain. I think Marshawn Lynch and Seattle Seahawks win the Super Bowl.
Okay?
It's going to be in cold weather. It's going to be in New York. Don't get me wrong, both teams are outdoor teams, so it doesn't really matter. But I just think the Seattle fans are going to just flock there. But
I'm not even mad. Not even mad.
yeah, I think really either team you can go with. I was also flip flopping between both. I just think Seattle just has a combination of passing. As long as they get Percy Harvin healthy.
Oh,
They got
this just
80
came up on Twitter. Percy Harvin hopes to be back for Week 7.
There you go. They have like 4 running backs they can run out. They got probably one of the best offensive lines.
Yep.
Their defensive line is solid the entire way. Good linebackers, and their secondary is unrivaled, other than maybe possibly the Bucs at this point.
Okay.
And then the Bucs are kind of, you never know until they get to the games.
Okay, there you go. So we both have the same Super Bowl, just a split opinion on what's gonna happen. Let us know in the comments what you guys think. Let's go to some quick awards. We'll start with the offensive and defensive rookie of the year.
Of course. You want to start off?
Yeah, I got EJ Manuel,
Ooh, nice.
offensive rookie of the year, mainly because I think he's going to be the most consistent starter
Yeah.
throughout the season. So he'll have the numbers, and him leading the team will help his case. Whereas guys like maybe like a Tyler Eifert or other names who have been thrown in as Tavon Austin, for example, who have been thrown
Eddie Lacy.
Pardon?
Eddie Lacy.
Eddie Lacy, who've been thrown in to win the award, they're not going to get as many consistent touches, especially like someone like Eifert who's behind another tight end. And you got AJ Green to contend with. I think Manuel being able to put up consistent numbers throughout the season will win the award. And then defensive rookie of the year, I've got Jarvis Jones.
Oh boy, we went the same guy there.
Yeah, I just think he's the perfect fit for the Steelers, and he'll show
Agreed.
why.
He's
And-
Lamar Woodley. He's
Pardon?
more athletic than LaMarr Woodley.
Yeah, and he'll show up all the teams that passed on him.
Sorry, I meant James
Say why
Harrison.
you passed on him, and this is what you passed up on this, and everyone will regret it.
Well, not too many teams. He was picked, what, 16th?
He fell to like 18th.
Yeah, he wasn't too bad.
Yeah,
There's
but there
just
were teams that could have taken him that could have used him.
could have, but they usually had more pressing needs. So he went to the perfect situation for him. My offensive rookie of the year is actually Tavon Austin.
Okay.
He's gonna have the ball in his hand. He's gonna like Percy Harvin.
Yep.
He's gonna have the ball in his hands, kick returns. He's gonna be in the backfield because they got nothing there at running back for St. Louis. So it's possible that he's gonna be back there in a Percy Harvin situation to get the ball. He's gonna have big plays. I also like Stedman Bailey, his companion from West Virginia, on the outside. I don't think he's gonna be that like much of a factor. I just like him a lot. I think he's really good. Who do you have for your offensive player of the year and defensive player of the year?
Even though I said he wouldn't break 2,000 yards, I still think it's gonna be Peterson. Pardon?
Yep, I have him as my offensive player of the
You
year.
have him going for 22.
Yep.
I just think he's going to be such a focal point of the offense that he's still going to get the production. Like, I don't think anyone's going to be going over like 1,600 yards other than Peterson this year, and he'll get a lot more. And because of the wide receivers around him who are able to set up bigger plays, he'll be closer to the goal line and probably get more touchdowns.
Yeah.
So I think that's why I got him as offensive player of the year, defensive player of the year, and it goes along with why I picked them to be a wild card team. I'm going with Cameron Wake.
That's a good choice. I went kind of off the board as well.
I think that line is improved, especially with Deion Jordan. He's gonna draw some attention too. They'll leave Cameron Wake to put up some big numbers this year.
As I said, I went same player of the year. I went Andrew Pearson because he's gonna have a massive year. I went Brian Arakpo.
Okay.
I think coming back from the injury, he's gonna be hungry. Him and Ryan Kerrigan are a perfect combination of linebacker for the Washington Redskins. I think he's just gonna get after the quarterback. He's gonna terrorize the NFC East, where the lines there aren't even that great. Philadelphia, they just cut their former first round pick, Denny Watkins. The Cowboys line is it's nothing special there. And then you look at what team am I missing? The Giants. They're an older line, so Brian Arakpo can get after the quarterback. Mm-hmm. So I think he's gonna have a great year. My MVP for this year, Mr. Adrian Peterson.
Okay.
If you break the rushing record, you're MVP.
Yep.
Enough said.
Okay. My MVP, I'm going off the board with Manning, Eli.
Oh.
I think that he's going to be the only reason the Giants make the playoffs.
Wow.
And if he can put up close to the numbers that he put up 2 years ago, they will make the playoffs, and he will be the only reason why.
Wow.
And that would make him the most valuable player to his team. I'm not going to be right at all.
No, not at all.
That's the season that he's going to need to have for the Giants to make the playoffs.
Wow. I'm kind of shocked about that.
I know you are. I could tell by your reaction.
I won't disagree with you because this is the NFL and anything can happen. But
when you think about it, if the Cowboys aren't going to be good, Eagles are going to be bad, and the Redskins, you never know.
That's true.
I think he can put up big numbers there, and you know what? He wants to be elite. He says he's elite. Prove it again. Prove it during the. I know he puts on great Super Bowl and playoff performances. Show me during the regular season you can do it and do it consistently, and I will consider you elite.
If I had to go someone, I guess I'll change it since I already picked Adrian Peterson for my offensive.
You don't have to differentiate.
I know. If there's another player to at least look for, in my opinion, it's gonna be Drew Brees.
Yeah.
Now that he has
I was debating between those two guys.
Now that he has the clipboard and the head coaching hat off, I think he's gonna light it up.
All right, so we're gonna go off on one topic. The last topic. Well, maybe last topic. First coach to be fired.
Oh. Do I even have to say?
Are you saying Rex Ryan? Because that's what I.
Oh God, yes.
Yeah.
That man is just. Anytime he walks into that door at his facility, he probably thinks he's gonna be fired.
Okay then. So that was a pretty bad question. So we're gonna go on. We're gonna go out on this question. I don't know any player that's gonna be on. Which NFL player, is going to steal the show on an episode of The League?
Who's the guest appearances this year?
I don't know. See, that's the thing. That's why it's completely wild card. Who do you think that's made big enough name, that's made enough noise, that's gonna be on, that could be on the show, that would steal an episode?
Oh man.
I'm leaning toward, if Jared Allen ever makes it on the show, that would be the funniest episode. He'd be the funniest guest star.
I can't disagree with you, because anytime I see him on anything like Jackass,
Exactly.
he was absolutely hilarious. Oh, you're putting me on the spot here.
I know, it's kind of a random question that I thought of 2 minutes ago.
I want to say RG3, but who I have? That's a good question. I would like to see Peyton on there.
Okay, yeah, I would too. That'd be good.
After his SNL skits, you
And
can't top the
his
man.
football on the phone commercial.
Exactly. Him and Eli together, maybe
Yeah.
rapping. That's all you need.
Doing their best Lonely Island impression.
There
Okay.
you go.
So we're gonna go off on that. That'll be the end of it. Thank you for listening. Enjoy the NFL season. As we said before, you can read Sean's full predictions, or off-season reviews as he titled them, on the blog sportsbyschmucks.blogspot.ca. In the future, actually, there'll probably be a new. I just played week 2 for the Buffalo Bills owner mode against the Carolina Panthers, so that'll be up sometime soon. And then, there'll be NHL season, which I'll be writing some previews for, with the new division alignments and the Metropolitan Division, which will be the most fun to say.
Oh my God, why?
Because
Why?
it's the Metropolitan Division. Oh, one last thing about the NHL, I guess. Did you see the Sabres New Jerseys?
They look pretty good.
Oh my God, I hate them. Anyways, that's a topic for another day. Thank you for listening. Follow us on Twitter, at Sport by Schmucks. It'll be on the screen probably right now. Our Twitters are going to be in the link in the description. Follow us there as well. And enjoy football.
Can't wait.